that was gonna happen?
Nah, listen, I know although it was a game, you're sitting there going, geez, we're in the game, but we can't seem to get any traction, whether it's killing penalties and some fortunate bounces for them around the net. Give them credit, they went there, deserved to get some second chances, but hey, you never know in this game. We saw it happen to us right here, not that long ago, a bigger lead, so it can happen.
Even before David scores his goals, that line had some pretty good possession. What were they doing right to generate some chances?
Well, I think Jake's second effort on pucks tonight was better. Even the first goal they scored, I think where Minnesota is very good. They reload well through the neutral zone. If you look at their defensive numbers, they're rock solid. So they protect the middle. They have people back. So if you're going to get a scoring chance off the rush, it's usually off maybe a block shot going the other way or something. They don't typically break down off a normal course of events. So Jake made a good play, got it behind their D. Krejci recovers it, low to high, get to the net. That's kind of the goals. Even Marshy's, right? Same kind of thing off the end board. So you're going to have to get some opportunities from below the goal line, then get them sorting out from there. So I thought they did a real good job with that. I started Wagner up on that line. I think he deserves to be rewarded. Sometimes the stuff he does doesn't always show up in the score sheet, but it does take away from that fourth line. So we move Krejci up. Some of it was he doesn't kill, either does Krejci and DeBrusque. So Wagner's was used a lot in the kill early on, so it just kind of evolved into that.
Obviously, the game winner aside, what did you think of Krug's performance?
Torey was good. Like, he had to kill a lot of penalties, which coming off a 5-game layoff isn't ideal. Z got whistled a few times tonight, so we're a little bit shorthanded in that regard in terms of how they trying to generate in the power play. They got bigger bodies in front, so Grizz and Kampfer and Krug had their hands full. I think it was 7 by the end of the night. I can't remember last time we had to kill 7, so that's a lot of work for them. So it's good that he had a little left in the tank offensively at the end of the night and played to his strength at the end, and finished well. Had a nice spurt through the middle. Obviously, it took a little bit of conditioning and to be able to do that at the end of the game. So clearly looked after himself when he was out.
Why the switch in net, and can you just comment on two?
Halak showed up sick. So very simply, he it's you or goalie Bob. So he went in and did a great job pinch hitting. I thought he had some tough luck around the net. Makes that. Was it Zucker? I can't remember now, or Krejci. One that was in late, that could be it, right? You could say, well, not our night, but he battled hard. Overtime shot that I think hit Coyle's stick. That it's hard from my vantage point what exactly happened. He stretched out, made a great save. So he battled hard. Good for him. I'm glad he got the win because no circumstance, it's not easy.
Does that change next week, goalie tandem?
No, they'll both play a game. We're probably looking at Tuukka in Montreal and Yarrow in Ottawa originally. Now with Tuukka playing this game, we might flip-flop that, but they'll each play a game. And then we'll worry about the rest of the week. I think we play Friday, Sunday, so they'll probably play 2 each next week because the next week after that is Tuesday, Thursday. We got a lot of games coming up, so you might see a little more of a rotation than maybe we have in the last 7 or 8 games, simply because of what we got in front of us.
Bruce, you were the other night against Buffalo.
You're not going to be denied tonight, Mike, right? I like it. I like
Tonight.
it.
You were like a little disappointed in the Sabres being able to get to the net. You've mentioned tonight that Minnesota got some breaks. I mean, is that still a thing?
It is. Listen, we're playing a bit of a smaller lineup back there without Kevin Miller and Johnny Moore. We understand that. The only other option is do we go to Lozon and Providence, who's a bigger body guy, but Vac was the guy that was recommended. We played him. Krug's healthy, so we're not going to have Vac sitting here not playing. So we're going to have to find ways to be better at that or minimize the damage on that. But I think teams understand. You get pre-scouted. They know that we're a little smaller back there. So some of it is we got to do a better job defending the blue line. When you're quick, you should be able to do that. So that's a group of 5. I thought we could have been better at that with our gaps tonight, so you don't get stuck in those situations. Then breaking pucks out. I thought early on we weren't clean below the goal line, and you hope that your smaller skill guys will help you in that regard. We weren't as clean as we need to be, so you don't get stuck in those situations. So we got to play to our strengths with a smaller group back there, and tonight we did early on, and eventually we got to.
Get one over there.
Same much. What the 6-on-5 situation? What's it say about the mindset of Bergie breaks the stick,
has to go to the bench, and so they pump the brakes a little bit, almost waiting for him to get back into the play, and then Krejci's goal.
No, I think we've been good at it. It's like we've scored a few. You know, I guess my thought process always, I'd like all 6 guys going, or at least 5 of them together, up while they're coming up the ice. So we were kind of hollering there at Charlie. He was starting to go, but the forwards are tired, like to go back, go together. And we're just forcing the other team to forecheck hard, which typically happens, right? Because you want to defend, get numbers back. So we got all our guys out together both times. Power play, we decided we'd go right after it right away. And it worked out. But that's kind of our thinking typically. We're not as mesmerized by the clock. It's not like at 2:30 you have to go, or at 2 minutes. You know, we'd like it around 1:45-ish, 2, whatever, if it's a minute and a half. But we'd like all 6 guys to be fresh, if possible. You know, I remember in Colorado we tried it this year. Got everyone on the ice, they touched it once, threw it in the empty net. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Take 2 more if there are 2.
How much did those 7 penalties disrupt the team's rhythm tonight, trying to get 5-on-5 going?
Well, I mean, early, you know, there was a time there I thought, boy, you know, like Peel and Kozari, arguably their 2 best players tonight. You know, you're thinking in your head, because I've never seen a game like that where you're 7 in a row when it's a close game. Typically, it's, you know, the game gets out of hand, you get roughing calls, you start acting goofy, but it seemed like there was stuff going on each way. We got flagged for it, but we got our calls at the end, same ones, the trippings. That's what we got nailed for early. So it came around to us. But it's just hard for a Pasternak, a DeBrusk, Krejci, guys that don't kill. You know, it's hard to stay in the game. They get frustrated, they want to get out there. As soon as their line's up, another penalty comes up, and it takes away from Krug, Grizzlick that are killing penalties. So yeah, it disrupts you. I think it gives the other team juice, especially if they score. Their best players are touching the puck a lot. So it's tough, but we got through it.
So has it ever surprised you how the leaders come through like they did tonight?
No, our guys, they're competitive. They want to win every night. Not possible, but I think that's why games like this, they don't get, and they don't deviate from the plan. Like Bergen's here consistently saying the right things. You know, like it was a 1-goal game for a long time. You know, they got it to 2, so, but we were in it. We just had to sort of find our game. And the second I thought we did a better job of that, and we still got into penalty trouble. So that, like I said, then you start thinking, well, maybe this isn't our night, you know. But they hung in there, and listen, we're not going to win with 2 goals with a goalie out very often, so we might as well enjoy it. It is the new NHL, it happens, but we're fortunate, and hopefully we don't put ourselves in that position going forward very often.
Thanks, everyone.